What's up guys, I'm Chris Doughty, aka Doughtinator. In this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to preserve the hybrid in your LMP1 car or any car with a hybrid. This is my technique to regenerate that energy during the braking phase. Before we begin though, big shout out to Heatseeker. Check out the livery on this Porsche 919 hybrid car. Absolutely fantastic livery. Super big thanks to Heatseeker for this one. It's also worth mentioning that Onboard Leader Racing and Digit Gaming also have techniques on how to preserve and regenerate your hybrid. My technique is slightly different, but I'd highly recommend watching both of their videos and my video. Try out all of the techniques and implement the one that works best for you. I'm going to try and link to both their videos in the description below, so make sure you go and check those ones out. In this example, I'm in daily race C and I made an absolutely shocking start, missed my braking point into turn 1. And this is my first race of the week. This technique works for any race using these Group 1 hybrid cars. So if you're doing the Prototype Series Group 1 races, then for sure this would also help you be faster in those races. In this race I'm doing right now on screen, this is a multiplayer race in sport mode, daily race C, and actually make a shocking mistake here. Overcorrect, smash into the barrier, right off the car, maximum damage. But luckily for you, it gives me an opportunity to just start testing out some techniques, and I can now explain how it's best for me to regenerate the hybrid. The hybrid meter on screen is the little battery icon near the fuel gauge, and the technique is basically to plant both feet in the braking zone, full throttle, full brakes, braking a little bit earlier than you would normally do, but this just forces the car to regenerate hybrid. So once again, look at the brake and throttle trace into this braking zone. Both full throttle and full brakes really just generates that battery in the braking zone. And then you use the battery on acceleration. Pay close attention to throttle and brake traces through the whole of this video to really see the technique that I'm using. But essentially it's just pushing full brake, full throttle at the same time in the braking zone, and as you start to get to the point in the corner where you want to turn in, just start to ease off the throttle. Even through this final sector at Fuji sector 3, just blending a little bit of throttle and brake, just overlapping both of those control functions is forcing energy into the battery. Look at through the final corner, we're using both throttle and brake at the same time, and look at the battery, we've almost got a full charge of battery. And this is going to really give us a big advantage over these other drivers here right now. I'm going to be in the slipstream, but also I would have had the extra boost out of the corner up to 250 kilometers an hour. We're going to get the full battery usage into turn 1. Another great place to charge the battery, but be cautious. Here we go a little bit deep, a little bit clumsy, but I think the guy doesn't really see me. But point being is that in these Group 1 races, other people may be charging hybrid on the braking zone, so be very cautious in those braking zones. We're going to have a little bit of a fantastic battle with a German driver here, but a great example here. We're going to be consciously trying to regenerate the hybrid, looking at throttle, looking at brake, overlaying both at the same time into the braking zones is going to really force energy back into that hybrid battery, and it's really going to pay out. Exiting the final corner specifically at Fuji, you can get a huge power boost just by having the battery fully charged. Look right there, we get alongside the German driver into this tight corner here. We don't quite have enough to get the move fully done, but through Fuji sector 3 we're going to be using that hybrid regeneration technique again, using the throttle brake, overlaying throttle and brake together, either pulling both triggers to run throttle and brake together, or planting both feet and using throttle and brake together. Look at the battery we're going to generate through the final corner here. It's going to start charging all the way through this sweeper here, and just look at the difference on acceleration out of the corner now. On the gas, and at some point his hybrid is just going to die, and we're going to continue using hybrid right up to 230 kilometers an hour. I'm going to show 2 laps side by side now, one with regenerating hybrid, one without regenerating hybrid. You may want to go back and rewatch each of these ones individually, but look at the throttle and brake traces in these clips. On the left we've got a normal driving technique, on the right we've got a regenerative driving technique, and already you can see the regenerative driving technique in the first braking zone is massively in favour of the regenerative braking. Pace wise for each of the laps, they are quite similar up until you get to the final corner, and that's where you see the hybrid regeneration really pay off a significant amount. Into this next braking zone is another big hybrid charging zone for me. Look at the difference in battery, almost 50% with regenerative and 30-ish% with normal braking. And already on the exit we've run out of hybrid with normal but with regen technique, we've got a little bit still remaining. Again, another big braking zone here. Let's see the difference. Again, almost half battery regained on the regenerative braking technique. And through the final sector in Fuji is probably where you can harvest the most. All the time dragging the brakes. Look at the difference between the two driving styles. We did run a little bit wide with a normal driving style there, but that was a bit of a track limits issue. Yeah, and look, into the final corner here, we're going to regenerate a lot. And this is where you see the biggest difference. On the exit of the corner, we're quite similar on the corner exit, fractionally ahead with the regenerative braking. But as we're getting here, that huge speed difference between the two. If you rewatch that one, at some points we're up to 30 kilometers an hour faster using the regenerative braking and getting out the corner without the hybrid dying. In this race, skipping forward to the end of the race, we actually end up dragging it back to be a top 5 finish in a top split lobby on PS4. So it works quite well. If you have found this video useful, then make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis and driving tips will help you get faster in Gran Turismo 7. On screen right now will be a link to another video. Go and check that one out. I'm sure you'll find it very useful. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.